from work right now. Got off early today, kind of nice. Figured I'd give you all a rundown on my history and everything since I haven't done that before. I just got my new GoPro over Christmas and New Year and everything. I got a microphone hooked up and everything inside the helmet, so hopefully y'all can hear me pretty good. If not, I guess I'll do a different video, but I've been riding for pretty much my whole life. Started like, I don't know, when I was like 10 probably, maybe even earlier than that. I don't know. My dad got me a 250 dirt bike, and this thing is a 1971 Suzuki TS 250. This thing had a metal gas tank, dual rear shocks, weighed about fucking 800 pounds at least. Not really, but probably about 300 or 400. It's pretty heavy. Yeah, I mean, that's when I started riding out in the field out by a house that I grew up in. We had about 12 acres. My parents had a little farm and stuff, and I used to ride out there in the field. Had a little track and stuff. After that, hang on, I got an ambulance over there. After that, though, I got a little older. I don't know how old I was. I was probably, shit, I don't know. I can't even remember how old I was. It was later on, though, after I seized the motor in that 250, that Suzuki. I ended up getting 1997 KX 250, and that thing ripped like a motherfucker. Blew the motor in that one though, shortly after I got it. Bought it from a guy for 250 bucks, and couldn't prove that it ran, so he couldn't prove that it ran. So I ended up fixing that up, rebuilt that whole motor actually, replaced it with a, actually I didn't rebuild the motor, I replaced it with a motor out of a 2001 KX 250. Sorry, I'm trying to get through traffic here. It's pretty crazy right now. Yeah, replaced that motor, ripped that thing, raced motocross with it. It was pretty fast. It was a good bike. I missed that bike. I actually had it up until I moved down to Florida. I moved down here back in 2018. Yeah, that I sold it for $1,000 after my I ended up getting a divorce with my wife, and had to move, so I had to sell that thing. I missed that bike a lot. That thing had a power band like no other, and it was a 250, and I'm not a small guy, and that thing still ripped like a motherfucker. I missed that bike. Shit, hopefully that cop didn't get me. Hey, she stared at me. Yeah, so ended up selling that bike, moved up to Fort Myers, Florida. I was living down in Everglades, Florida at the time. Ended up moving up to Fort Myers, took a break for a little while from the bikes. Ended up wanting to get back into it on the road, and picked up a 2016 Ninja 300. And yeah, like I said, I'm not a small guy. That thing, I ripped that thing for a year, riding up and down the damn highways. What's up, guy? Yeah, that thing was awesome, man. That thing got like 72 miles a gallon. Probably not that much with my fat ass on it, but yeah, I mean, that bike will always hold a special place in my heart, even though it's a Ninja 300. I know a lot of people shit on them, but I definitely like that bike. It definitely got me to work a lot of times when my my truck was down. I had transmission issues in my 2004 Cummins. Yeah, I definitely like that bike a lot. But it ended up getting too slow, and I got a little comfortable on it, so I decided to upgrade. And at the time, I was trying to find a ZX6, but I couldn't get one. Actually, let me back up. I was looking for a Z650 because I wanted to move up to that. And I'm actually glad when I actually went to the dealer in Fort Myers there trying to buy one, and I was actually going in to buy one on the day that I was looking, and because it was hard finding a bike back then. This was like 2020 probably, right before the pandemic. And yeah, they actually sold a brand new Z650 right out from under me. I was walking in to buy it, and there was a guy that came in right before me, and he ended up buying it. So I was kind of pissed about that, but it ended up working out anyway, because there was a 2018 Ninja 650 used with like 4,000 miles or 8,000 miles on it or some shit there in their used section, and it was gray with a green, and I loved the look of that bike. I literally looked at that bike and was like, I gotta have that fucking thing. And I'm kind of pissed because I went from a 300 to a 650. It kind of sucked a little bit because it wasn't much more power, but I mean, I didn't know that at the time. It was just about a year in on the road, so I just needed something a little quicker. I ended up getting that bike. It was a solid bike. I mean, those Ninja 650s are the shit. They are tried and true for sure. And it's not just because I'm a Kawasaki guy. I mean, I love Kawasaki, but those parallel twins on those Ninjas are fucking amazing. They'll last forever. So actually, let me back up again. I'm horrible at telling stories, if you can't tell, but that 300 that I was riding, I ended up giving it to my girlfriend, and she was riding that after I got that 650. It was a KRT 300, so it was that lime green, had all that lime green shit on it. So everything that was green on it, her favorite color is purple, so I ended up actually rattle cannon everything that was green on it purple for her, and she fell in love with it, and it was a good bike. Yeah, so I rode that 650 for about a year or so, maybe, I don't know, maybe a little longer, I can't remember, but that thing got old pretty quick after riding that 300. Like, honestly, I mean, I liked it, but you know, it's they can only do so much. So I ended up wanting to find a different bike, and then I got this fucking bad boy here. Picked this up at a dealership used too. It had 14K on it, which, you know, was a little higher, but I figured, fuck it, it's a 900. It's probably a good bike. So yeah, I did a little research on it, and I'm actually glad that I didn't get that Z650, because I've absolutely fell in love with this bike. Like the riding position, the fucking torque in it, everything. I wish it had a little more top end, but I mean, you know, you can't get everything. So I've been ripping on this since March, and I like this one a lot. It's definitely got the ass. I mean, you can see now I got 25.2 on it, and I got it in March, and whatever the fucking math is on that, I can't do that while I'm driving here, but fuck you too, don't wave back. Goddamn Harley. Those were Hondas anyway. Yeah, so that's a little bit my history. I don't know, I mean, I'm glad I started small, honestly, because, you know, you get all these guys that they jump on a leader bike or a fucking 600 right out of the gate, and not everybody, because definitely people can do that and they'll be fine, but I mean, I've been to bike meets and shit, and people are, you know, oh yeah, I've been riding with 1000 since day one, and it's like, yeah man, I get it, but I definitely believe in the fundamentals and shit, and I definitely got that, not only from, you know, riding dirt bikes when I was younger and stuff, but riding on that 300, definitely, not that I had any ass to get out of the way of anybody or anything, but cornering and shit like that, like, just understanding the rules of the road when you're on a bike and all that crap, you know, like, that thing helped me with that. And then moving up to that 650 for sure. I always tell everybody, you know, if I would have hopped on a leader bike or a 600 from the start, I'd probably be dead by now, honestly. And I definitely appreciate that you know, and a lot of it was just the money issue when I started back on the road, like started getting on the road, and you know, I didn't have the money to go out and buy a fucking 1000 or 600, you know, or at least five grand. So I picked up that 300, I think, for 35 or 25, I can't remember, 3, something like that, but it was relatively cheap, and it had, you know, low miles on it, so I figured, fuck it, we still have it. I definitely recommend starting out small if you're starting out. You don't have to, obviously. I mean, everybody's got their own way of doing things, but it definitely helped me out for sure. I haven't taken any bikes to the track yet at all. I want to get this fucker to the track. I'm looking at maybe upgrading to a ZX10. I'm trying to find a double R for a good price, but it's fucking impossible. It's at least, you know, even used 15, 20, so probably not. But if I can't find one of those, I'll probably end up buying a just a ZX10, regular one, and I'll be able to rip that. I mean, this Z's great. Z900 is a great bike. It's just, it doesn't have a lot of that top end, and it's definitely got the low end torque, but you know, it sucks for one to fucking get into like a little faster shit, tracking and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, that's basically my history. I'm sure if you've subbed to my channel off of Uzi's channel, been riding with him for a little while. Great guy. He's definitely all about that R6. But I mean, my second favorite is Yamaha. I've always been Kawasaki, obviously, from, you know, not from the start because I had that Suzuki, but at least racing with that KX250, I definitely fell in love with Kawasaki. But Yamaha is great too. The R6 is a great bike. I definitely wouldn't recommend starting on an R1. They're a little fucking fast, but I mean, you can do what you want, obviously. I'm not here to judge anybody, but yeah, if you don't know who Uzi is, go ahead and subscribe to his channel too, off mine. He gave me a shout out in his last video, and I appreciate that. I'm sure I got a couple subs off of that, but yeah, basically me and him, we got a couple other buddies we ride with. They have R6s too. Got one buddy that's got a Harley. My girl's riding that 650 now, the one, that second bike that I had. Fucking painted everything purple on that bike again for her that was green. It fucking killed me because I loved the way that bike looked when I had it, but ended up giving it to her. She loves it. I think it's a great bike for her. But yeah, I mean, that's a rundown. If anybody has any questions, you know, don't be shy, comment, whatever. Definitely, hopefully you can hear me. I got a lot of wind blowing in this AGV helmet, but it's pretty quiet, so hopefully if the mic's hooked up and everything's working right, you'll be able to hear me pretty good. So yeah, sorry not a lot of shit happened in the video. I figured I'd give you all a rundown what, you know, where I'm at, where I'm from. Actually, I didn't even say that. I'm originally from Michigan. Grew up in southeast Michigan in the thumb there. Yeah, joined the military after that. Joined the Coast Guard for 2 years. Did that up in northern Michigan. Got out of that because I got tired of it. Ended up joining the Army infantry out of there. Spent 3 years up in Fort Drum in the infantry. So yeah, from there I hung out in New York a little while. My parents moved out there after I graduated high school, so tried to do that for a little while. Was an EMT, career EMT for a while, a couple years, and moved down here, and now I deliver pool pavers. I'm trying to get a shop. You know, now I found out after, you know, all the people we hang out with and ride with and everything, I definitely got a knack for working on bikes. So if I can get a shop somewhere, I'll be happy. You know, try to make that a thing and whatnot. So hopefully I can make that happen. Me and Uzi ride where we work on bikes. I don't want to, you know, take a stab at him, but we're working on his bike a lot more than we're working on mine. But I mean, I've been working on bikes my whole life, so I'm able to help him when, you know, he doesn't know about things, and it's great being able to help him with that shit. So looks like my check engine light came on. That's great. That's from me talking shit right now, 100%. But that's probably my O2 sensor. I got a Delcovic Delcovic slip-on this, and they got a lot of problems with those with these bikes, and you know, a lot of their bikes sometimes it'll throw a check engine code for the O2 sensor on those exhausts. I haven't figured out why yet. I tried to get a code reader for the bike, but you know, I bought a couple different ones and tried to hook it up to the adapter that comes or that you can buy for these, and it didn't work, so I just said fuck it. Ended up usually it'll just it'll clear itself, 3 heat cycles, it'll be done and it'll go away. So yeah, I mean, if you definitely if you like bike content, go ahead and subscribe. I'm gonna be putting out a lot more videos, or try to anyway. I work full-time, so it's kind of hard sometimes, but yeah, appreciate you watching. Go ahead and give me a sub, and stay safe out there.